Hello and welcome to No Man's Sky and my return to YouTube and to doing content creation in general. And I've had a bit of a time, let's just say. It's been one of those almost years. So I thought I'm going to come back and use No Man's Sky while I chat to you about what my plans are for the channel, since Keen Software are still developing Space Engineers 1 and they're still adding content to it, and they're working heavily on Space Engineers 2, which will appear on the channel when it eventually comes to the Xbox. And I'm looking forward to that because it looks a really interesting game. So what are the plans for my channel in 2026? More content. I will be doing content. Obviously, Space Engineers is a love of mine. And I thought, well, it's changed a lot in the last few updates, quite drastically. So I have decided that that is going to be one of my focuses for this particular run of videos. I'm going to start from scratch. I'm going to bring in new players to the Xbox version of Space Engineers, and I'm just basically going to start how I started, almost potentially, well, it'll be this year, it'll be about 6 years ago when I first did my first ever Space Engineers video for the DWolfyOne YouTube channel. So we're looking at the beginning of the game. All the new options, the way the UI has changed, then we'll dive into the game itself. We'll look at the radial, because the radial has had a massive change, and it's taking me even now time to remember where all the stuff is, because it's all moved around and it all functions in a fairly different way. There's a lot of quality of life being added to the game. There's a lot of things that we can now do with the AI blocks that were added and all the other features that were added to it as well. And hopefully I'll get to cover more of it as they add the next update, which is going to completely overhaul the contract system. Probably more quality of life. But we're on No Man's Sky, and we're on one of the planets, and I've been playing No Man's Sky since it launched. I did do a video on this channel where I was comparing Starfield and No Man's Sky. That was, I must admit, not entirely fair to No Man's Sky, but it was by way of pushing back against the people who criticise Starfield, because at the time I chose a specifically empty area of No Man's Sky and presented a similar kind of exploration to Starfield. And I'm not going to get into the Starfield argument. I'm actually, with this channel, going to be far more intolerant of intolerance. In other words, if you come to my channel and you absolutely unload on me over a game, you're gone. I'm not going to give you the time of day. I will devote my time, my mental health, to the people who actually matter, who still stuck with me, who've been sending me messages now and then saying, are you coming back? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And I said, well, I decided last night that this would be the first time I would upload a video for quite a while. I feel a lot better now. I've suffered health issues. I've suffered a bunch of other things that have happened with my family and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go into the details. Let's just say things are getting better. The worst part was I lost my beloved laptop that I used to do all my work on just before Christmas last year. So that kind of stopped my return to doing content creation as well. Now though, I have a nice new machine. It's good enough for me to do what I want to do, and I'm looking forward to just getting back into doing things. But this is my settlement over here and my Corvette, and I must admit that No Man's Sky absolutely became my focus when they added the shipbuilding element to it. And there are still people now who say, what, you can build a ship in No Man's Sky? Well, it's wow, that's amazing. And I'm pretty certain that Hello Games took a leaf or two from the book of Starfield's ship construction and added it into No Man's Sky, and I'm extremely pleased they did, because these things aren't just for flying around in, they're mobile bases and they can be crafted however you want. This character has a few. He has my cheekily created Crest of Razor, which is a version of like the Razor Crest from the Mandalorian, and a couple of other things along with his regular ships. I have the Wanderer, the Scoundrel's Luck, which is based on a Star Wars comic, and the Whisperwind, which is one of my favourite ships I designed early on. And these things can all be kitted out with interiors, and they have an autopilot, so it's possible now to fly and get out of the seat while the ship traverses to the next location. No Man's Sky, of course, recently had the Remnant update, which added the fact that you become a galactic trashman. Another quite enjoyable small update, really, but still impactful enough to extend the amount of playtime you can devote to this game, which is quite phenomenal when you add in base building, settlement management, freighter ownership. There's my Colossus with its spider legs from the latest expedition. If you haven't done the Remnant expedition and you do play No Man's Sky, it is worth it for the toys that you get for completing the expedition. And also with Remnant, they did a pass on the clouds again and have created some rather nice visuals, although the sky of this particular world is somewhat horrible yellow at most times. So we'll go out into space. So out in space, we'll head to the nearest space station. And it's quite fascinating to me as well to see how No Man's Sky has changed over the years, what with the big visual overhauls, Worlds 1, Worlds Part 2, and of course these beautiful new space stations they added, which give the game so much more life, and the really cool interiors that you get now. I just love watching these things in third person, and the way the lights come on when they land on their bespoke Corvette landing pads. Let's take a trip past my chairs, if I can get past them. Probably need to slightly move them. And these ships are really quite cool. And I don't actually use much glitch building either, so a lot of the ships I make in this are specifically built for just pure, I bet the best way to describe it is they're vanilla ships. So they use all the parts in the right place without needing to use other parts to put them in different places, although I have built one or two ships on another save that are glitch built, including a flying caravan. I will probably put that up at some point and tag in the guy who gave me the idea. I forget the name of the channel, but I will find out and I will give them the proper credit, as is only fair. But I just wanted to pop in here and show you the ship menu, so you can modify your ship, you can purchase new modules. I'm playing in custom creative mode because I finished No Man's Sky a while ago, and I just kind of use it as my chill game now. If I want to play the game with difficulty, then I'll just run the expedition. I have finished it, or rather I've finished the core story, as you call it, several times. But really, for me, the story of No Man's Sky is secondary to the whole experience of the game itself. So anyway, the Whisperwind. It's a fairly intuitive UI. You can select parts, move them around. You can duplicate parts with the tap of a button. You can press the Y button on the Xbox. I'm bringing a whole host of parts. Some of these have been unlocked by previous expeditions. The rest are just unlocked because I'm in creative, in custom. And many parts have been added since the launch of the Corvette update to further round out the shipbuilding. Hopefully there will be even more. I'm looking forward to it. You can only place 100 parts maximum at the moment. We're kind of hoping Hello Games gives us a little bit more to play with so we can build more complex ships. But I will definitely take what we have, because it's wonderful to be able to build these custom vessels and fly around, especially with your friends in multiplayer. There's something very Star Trek about that. But I didn't want this to be a sort of, hey, look, this is what you do in No Man's Sky video. I just wanted to use it in the background while I'm rambling on, getting back into the swing of things, and hopefully somebody finds this video interesting enough to watch it, and it gives you some hope that my content will return on the channel, and I will be looking, as I said, at the Space Engineers side of things, especially when the new update comes out. One thing I'm probably not going to do, because it is a pain to try and keep on top of, are the mod showcases and other such things. There are other creators on YouTube that do this, and they do a good job of it. So I would rather just focus entirely on the console side of the game and bring in potentially new players to give you a good grounding on how to start off your first ever game of Space Engineers, and just your basics, because it's all changed. We even have a brand new way to start the game. You don't get your drop pod anymore, you get a drop rover, and that actually alters the way that I start playing Space Engineers and setting up my first base, because with the drop rover you actually have your first base and it's pretty mobile, so you can spend a lot more time in the rover doing what you want to do. The only thing I really wish is we had small solar panels so we could research those and build them on the outside of the rover, but you can get mods that do have small solar panels. Anyway, I've rambled on now for nearly 15 minutes, and hopefully some of you are pleased, my subscribers who are still with me, to hear my voice again and see some content on the channel. I will be returning again on Sunday with the first Space Engineers video, and there may be other videos uploaded throughout the course of the week as things strike me. I don't tend to have a schedule apart from Space Engineers Sunday, as I called it. And yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. I'm looking forward to the release of a few games. Not many of them are science fiction. The big one I want is Crimson Desert, and if that grabs me enough, I might even drop a video up on that as well, because it looks as though it's going to be an absolute blast to play, personally. That's all from me, though. Thank you very much if you have been listening and watching this. I appreciate you as always, and I will return. Bye for now.